Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Metal Gear Solid 5 S-Rank walkthrough. This is episode 23, the White Mamba, and this is a mission that it is impossible to get the no trace bonus on. I know this because you cannot hold the White Mamba up. Eli is immune to being stood up for some reason. It makes no sense, because if you could, you would be able to wait for him to go out onto the balcony, sneak up behind him, put him down, and then Fulton him, and get out of that mission scot-free, no traces, best values you can get. But it's not the way the game lets you do it. And, believe it or not, Eli's a boss. I didn't even know this. My first playthrough on this mission, I snuck onto that boat, I went up to that room where the throne is, there was nobody there, I was like, where the hell is this guy? He must be up here. I walked towards the balcony, the door to the balcony, and I bumped into a white child in Africa. Which, I don't know too much about Africa, and I'm sure there are white communities, but you know, your stereotypical image of Africa is not white people. Unless you watch Lethal Weapon 2, and they're all rich and evil. Which is pretty much Africa. But, it was the most surprising thing in the world, and I just slammed him. That's all I did, just like straight up CQC'd his ass. It was a panic CQC. It flattened him, I picked him up, I took him out, and it was, you know, it was jobs are good and I didn't bat an eyelid. And then when I got the official guide, when I was scanning through it, it said he was a boss. And it turns out, folks, if you walk up the stairs to the boat, those wooden stairs that lead to that top platform, it triggers a cutscene and a fight, which is identical to the one you can have on Mother Base with him, where he runs away and you have to like chase him down and CQC him and what have you. But I didn't realise, I didn't even notice, I just slammed some stupid white kid. It was hilarious. So when I came back to this mission, I already knew that you could take him out, and I thought, I'll just sneak up to him, I'll put him into, you know, get down on the ground mode, and I'll Fulton him and it'll be easy. And it didn't work. He spun around, he saw me, and it went and it triggered the cutscene that triggers the fight. So I'm going to shoot him in the head, and I'm not going to be apologetic about it, because it's his own fault. But there's a couple of interesting things about this character which I'm now going to talk about, and it is spoiler territory for those people who are interested in that kind of thing, so this is your warning, folks, turn the video off now. But Eli is Liquid Snake. He is one of the Les Enfants Terribles project people, and the game does its best to try and convince you that he's not that, because there is a twist involving a certain character in this game that affects the story of that twist. And if you've been paying attention in this game, it's just another clue to the origins of the twist that happens on the final mission, which is called Truth. And all the way through the game there are hints at this, all the way through. And there are so many easy ways to pick it up, but you don't realise because they're presented in a pretty decent way. And I think for the most, even though the twist is kind of completely undermining in several different ways, I think the way that they handled it is incredibly elegant. And I like the fact that you can guess it. Unfortunately, you're guessing it at the beginning of the game, and it's one of those guesses where it's like saying the most ridiculous thing, and it turns out to be true. And those are the kind of twists that you never want to be true. Like, you don't want at the beginning of the game to be like, oh, you're dead, and this entire time you've been a ghost, and then boom, that's what it is. Like, you don't want the Sixth Sense to happen again. And this is kind of that kind of twist. Like, there are so many ways to tell. Oh, by the way, you can alert him and get him out of sleeping by walking up to that like that. And for some reason, through the wall he responds, and then wait for him to go outside and shoot him in the head. Because sometimes he'll be sleeping on the seat, and it takes him forever to walk out by his own volition. So if you do that, you will force him to move outside. And then now, all of his little child soldiers are going to run off, and then we can dump this dude in the helicopter. But another thing that's interesting involving Eli is he leaves you towards the end of the game. This is still spoiler talk, by the way. And he steals a certain something. And it looks like it's setting it up for a really, really cool final encounter that could be a really good boss fight, because Salenthropus is fucking terrible. And it never happens, and it turns out that there's an entire ending to the game, and an entire level and showdown in a place called the Kingdom of the Flies, that got cut from the game by Konami because of the aforementioned troubles they were having with Kojima over money, because they was going way too high over budget. So we missed out on a final boss and a better resolution because of Konami. And there's probably no hope in hell that that will ever surface, which is incredibly sad because I think it looked cool as shit. But there's videos of it online if you want to check it out. It's a bunch of concept stuff and it looks really sweet. But thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.